Hey, what is up, you guys? Back again. It's Malone the Gamer here. And today we're going to be doing Kerbal Space Program. This is version 1.05, and it was updated in a few days ago, actually. Um, Now, I'm going to let you in a little secret. I don't have the full version of it, but I do have the game. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to start a career mode. And with that career mode, we're just going to see where it can take us. Okay? So for this, we're just going to go ahead and create it. Make sure we select our flag. Just going to do a little logo here. And it's just a career mode where you have to manage all aspects of the program. You got to get funds, reputation, you got to have science. Now, the only thing that I have done with this game is I played a little bit of it just to get the basics for the flight controlling, because I know in some cases it could be a little touchy, or it could be the fact that it flies everywhere. And you get this startup message, and it's Gene Kerman. Gene Kerman's the flight director for Kerbal Space Program, and he's the head of the Space Center. So what you do is you go to this little building way back here, and this is where you get all your missions. So we're gonna do only a few small missions in this episode. We're gonna go ahead and launch our first vessel, and we're gonna gather scientific data. In order to do this, we just have to go to our main space hangar and to the vehicle assembly. Excuse me. And with this, you create your own spaceship. It's sort of like a simulator of what it's like for NASA. However, it's not, but it is, if that makes any sense. So first you got to start off with a small command pod, which this is the only command pod it gives you. And so you can select your engines, and as for right now, we only have one. We don't even have any thrusters or anything like that. We just have one solid fuel booster. And with that, we'll just drag it over here. We'll connect it to the body. And basically that's filled with fuel, and that'll get us up into the atmosphere. It probably won't get us out of space, but we just need to launch our first spacecraft. And you have girder segments for structures, but right now we're just needing basic fins so we can get some aerodynamics. So we're going to turn on symmetry mode and have 3 wings. That's nice. And we're going to put a parachute on top of it. That way he can land safely back on Kerbin. Now we could put this mystery goo containment unit on it, but we're not going to do that for this mission. We're not going to mess with it for right now. So you have to name the craft. So I think what we're going to call it is just Research 1. I know that's a boring name, but that's all we're doing here. We're just getting a small little basis in research for it. So we'll save it and make sure we get our staging right here in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, we're going to have the fuel booster going off at the same time as the parachute, and that wouldn't be too good. So we'll go ahead and go on to the launch stage. Alright, so here we are. We're at the launch site. And as you can see in the top right, it's got electric charge, monopropellant, solid fuel, and then it's a stage only. What that means is we have fuel, we've got energy for battery power, and that we've got only one stage. So you start off here, and we'll go ahead. You've got these buttons up here for lights, gears, and brakes. Well, we don't have any of those on this. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and launch it. We're going to make sure we lean it a little to the left here. That way we can stay on Kerbin and not just fly out into the ocean. So in this top right, it blinks at me and it lets me know that I'm doing a contract or that I'm completing a contract. And it says, you've broken a speed record, launched the first vessel, broken another speed record, broken an altitude. And that one will keep going for the whole duration of the flight. So it's really cool that that just lasted us about 2,500 meters before it just cut us off and we're going to go fall back down to the earth. Or Kerbin. It's so different because it's like it's exactly like Earth, basically the same biome. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward here to the landing. Now with big vessels, I've heard you don't really want to time warp or anything due to the fact that they're so big. And if you're trying to make minor adjustments, it'll literally just flip the whole thing around and around, and it won't really do much good for you. But I don't think we're going to be making anything too large in this video. I really think we're just going to get the basis in. And I know this is sort of boring to some people, but maybe some people will find it interesting. Maybe they'll have a good time, you know. That's how I am with this. I'm having a good time, you know. I'm just playing games for you guys and just recording them and making sure that I've got some content to upload for you guys. That way you can have something to watch, you know. Because who knows, maybe some of you are just bored and you see this video, you're like, oh, what's this? You click it, you end up liking it. And I'm for sure going to do a couple of episodes. I'm not sure how many I'm going to do on this. But as long as I have you guys' support, I'm going to keep doing it and make sure that we can keep having a fun time. I'm not going to just stop doing it because I'm like so bored of it. I'm sure I can find something to do. And if you guys have any suggestions for what I can do, I would love to hear it. You guys can go ahead and put it down in the comments and I'll make sure I look at it. Go ahead and open our parachute before we just crash into the dirt. Wouldn't want Jebediah just crashing. Now, this game actually has real physics. I believe it has real physics at least, and most of it seems in proportion to what it was, but sometimes it just breaks the game and it'll crash every now and then because it's just like too much for it to handle. But I got to give it to the developers here that they really did create a good game, and they're still in small tweaking stage even though Kerbal Space Program's been released. I believe some of it's still in development. It's not in early access anymore. It's the actual version. But they do have some stuff that they're still working on. And I really like to see what they can come up with next. I mean, there's a whole bunch of mods out there for everybody. There we go. We just landed safely back on Earth. Just over here in the middle of nowhere. There's not really anything around. I don't even know where we launched from. Like, I have no clue, but I think we launched from somewhere over there, maybe. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and recover the vessel, make sure we get Jebediah back to the Space Center and make sure he's alright. We're glad that everything went okay on the first take. Alright, that is all for this video. That's all I'm going to do for today. Later, I'm pretty sure we can do some more videos about this. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. But if you give me a thumbs down, I want you to put in the comment section why you thought it was bad. But if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope I see you again in the next video. Thanks again.